the main chat of the reception. So sometimes they get a bit confused and start to make questions in the wrong chat area. But we're gonna help them to make questions or comments there. So you're gonna see the comments, and also we have the private chat where we can talk here inside of this back page in private mode. Okay.
Right, I can see that. Yeah. I'm glad you told me about the institutional video because I was not expecting that, but that's fine.
Yes, it's up to you guys. If you don't want, you can go straight live, and
No,
but the video is quite short and
no, that's fine.
good to call the attention of people.
And we're going to record all of this, right?
Right.
So I ask for people to wait until we meet quorum. That's in the call to order. So if we meet quorum already, if there's that many members who have logged in, then you can just say go ahead. But otherwise, we're going to have wait for a couple minutes to see if we get some other people.
Yeah, I will tell you. I can tell you now. Just a second. We have 16 people now, but including me and Kari, so 14 people from LPI. Okay.
Does that include Matt and Kenny?
Yeah. I think Matt is there because Matt was answering somebody in the chat.
Yeah.
And Kenny too, right? Kenny.
Okay, so 14. We need a couple more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's 9:00. We can start the video.
Okay. So after the video, you'd like to get in or not? You're gonna tell people that we are waiting for the quorum because the video is just 1 minute.
Yeah, after the video, I would like to get in, and I will tell
Okay.
everybody. And the recording is started, so I will tell
Okay.
everybody the information.
Okay, so let's go there. Ivan's here. Hi, Ivan. I'm gonna remove Matt, Kenny, and myself and Ivan. Only you, John, will be here. Okay.
Okay. you that the voting for the new members of the board of directors will be ending at 13:30 Universal Time. So if you have not voted, now is a good time to do that. We have to meet quorum for this meeting. So far, we have 14 of the 17 people needed. And if we have not met that at the end of my little talk here, then I will wait for the people to tell us that we've actually met quorum before we go on with the meeting. I'm going to explain what the AGM meeting is about for the people who have never attended one. This is a meeting which is required by Canadian law, where LPI is headquartered and chartered, and it is a meeting of the members. That is you, the people who are certified and the people who have met the requirements of the bylaws and policies of LPI to become members. We do have members of the board here, myself as the chair. I've also been told that we're going to have Vicky Brasseur, who's the vice chair and the chair of the governance committee, Dorothy Gordon, who is the secretary, and perhaps Mark Phillips, although he was en route to Australia the last time I knew. We also have members of the staff of LPI. Mr. G. Matthew Rice, who's the executive director, Kenny Armstrong, who's the returning officer for the elections, and Evan Leibovich, who's the director of community development and engagement. So these are the people who are here. We may also have some of the candidates for the election here, although it is not really necessary for them to be here. So I will find out if we have met quorum for our meeting. And if the staff would put something in the private chat to tell me whether or not we've met quorum, that would be great. We still are at only 16. That is technically right on the edge because we're supposed to have 10% of our members, and we have 169 members. So it's very hard to find that 9/10 of a member to sign up. 20. So we can go. We have met quorum. At this point, I would like to remind people that if you have a declaration or if you have a conflict of interest, in other words, maybe you're Bill Gates or 10% of our members, somebody who believes very solidly in closed source, so it's very hard to find that 9/10 of a votes that will be taken or polls that will be taken during this sign meeting. 20. You would want to refrain from voting for because there's a conflict of interest. I do not anticipate. I would like to remind people, but I have that if you have a declaration to declare if you have a conflict of interest now, in other words, in the maybe you're Bill Gates to see if anybody has one, and somebody who believes very solidly in closed source, in that there may be in the comments that will be taken or polls that will be taken during this meeting. That you would want to refrain. I'm going to now explain the resolution procedures and what we're doing during this particular meeting. You will be asked to have a poll on various resolutions that will happen during this meeting. There will be a resolution, for example, to accept the agenda. There'll be a resolution to accept various audits and to approve various things which are required by Canadian law. And for each one of those, I will read out the resolution number. I will explain the resolution, and then you will do a poll on that particular resolution. We will wait for a certain period of time for the poll to be completed, and then we will announce the results of that poll. There's also the issue of proxies. Perhaps some of you have not been able to attend in person, and you have asked somebody to apply to be a proxy. In that case, you will vote as that person instead of as yourself. So that's the explanation of the resolutions. And with that, we'll go to the first resolution, which is the adoption of the agenda, Resolution 2022-0625-01. Now, when the announcement of this went out, you were assigned a URL that has the reports in it. There should be a copy of the agenda in that. And I will read the resolution while you perhaps look at that agenda. Whereas the Linux Professional Institute is required to have an annual general meeting, AGM, and this meeting has been voted to be held on Saturday, June the 25th, 2022 at 0900 EDT, which is 1300 UTC. And whereas the membership has been found to have reached quorum, and whereas the draft agenda has been read, be it resolved that the agenda for the 2022 AGM is approved as presented. Now there will be a move of that particular resolution. And if a person wants to move that, they can put that into the comment section of this. And then there will be a second to that. And then there will be a poll. G. Matthew Rice, as a member, has moved this agenda item. And is there a second to that? Kenneth Armstrong, who is a staff member and a member of LPI, has seconded it. So it is now moved and seconded. If the members would then vote through the polling system to be able to answer the poll, you can do it as accept or reject or abstain. We'll wait for perhaps 10 more seconds, and then I will ask the staff members to answer back. Are there any rejections or are there any abstentions? If there are not, then we will say it has been accepted unanimously. Okay, I'm going to call the polling at a close. Could the staff tell me in the comment section what the results were? I do not see the results of the poll in the comment section. Well, while we're waiting for that to happen, I will go on to the opening remarks. I will also remind people that the voting for the board members will be ending at 9:30 EDT, 13:30 Universal Time. So you have about 18 minutes left to vote for the new board members if you want to do that. So item number 6 is the opening remarks. I want to welcome everybody to this the third AGM that LPI has had. The first one, we only had one member, Torsten Schreck, who declined to have the AGM meeting, so it was held as void. The second one was last year in 2021, which was actually our first real AGM. And then we have this one. This is a meeting for you, the members. And it's a time where you get to vote for the board members and you get to have some say in the way the organization is run. It's a very formal meeting. You are exposed to things like what the board members have voted on during the year. You can see some of the reports that the executive director has generated, some of the things that LPI will be working on. And it is a chance for you to interact with this member organization. So unlike other organizations, this is a true member organization. This belongs to you, not to me, not to Matt. It belongs to the members. And it is up to you to decide in what direction the organization should go, given its charter and its bylaws. So with that, we'll go on to the actual meeting itself. I still don't see the result of the poll, but we will have that in the minutes eventually. Item number 7 is the approval of the minutes for the 2021 AGM, Resolution 2022-0625-02. So if you could put that poll up on for the members. Whereas the Linux Professional Institute held an AGM in 2021, be it resolved that the minutes of the 2021 AGM are now formally approved by the membership. I will tell you that these board minutes have already been approved by the board itself, so that they have seen them. We have presented these to you, for the people who attended the AGM last year to say, okay, yes, this is what happened. We included a video of that meeting with annotations so that you could see how the minutes were created. And if somebody would move for those minutes to be accepted. Can people hear me? Kenny, I need to know who moved it and who seconded it. Kenny or Matt, do you know who moved and seconded Resolution 2022-0625-02? Okay. Thank you. Kenny moved that. And Norbert seconded it. Okay. Now, if people would, in their polls, vote to approve the minutes, I would greatly appreciate that. Again, you vote to accept, reject, or abstain. We'll wait another 10 seconds. Matt says he's not seeing the poll. We need to have the poll seen. Okay, he now sees it. So, folks, okay, 13 have voted. What is the results? Are there any rejections or abstains? Okay. Okay, I see the 13 have accepted it, so that means that the motion has passed. Now we're going to have a report of the executive director, G. Matt Rice, on the annual review and moving forward. And I'll turn this over to Matt for the moment. Oh, before I do, I want to remind people that the voting for the board ends at 9:30 EDT or 13:30 Universal Time, which is about 10 minutes. Okay, Matt, take it away.
Thanks, John. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm going to share the screen, which should work. I haven't tried this yet. And just do a quick run through of our annual review. This is available for download as well. It's in the election report section for the 2022 AGM. And because I can't see the comments, if anyone has any questions or anything they'd like to say during this presentation, I'll catch up with them at the end. This is going to be a very short presentation because everyone did their homework already, right? But if anyone wants to shout out questions, Daniel or Kenny, while we're going, that's fine too. So the first part of our annual review was just some metrics about how industry and employers value certifications. It's generally good for your career. I know we get a lot of anecdotes that tell us the same. And a couple of just welcome letters from John and myself. And a bit of a montage, is that the word? A collage of people inside LPI, board members, staff from around the world that have been helping throughout the year. And a little introduction to some of the services and focus that we've been putting in place. This map in the center is a per capita map of our certification holders. So the darker the color, the more certification holders we have per capita or per 100,000 residents of each country. As you can see, we've got some work to do. There's a few countries missing, but those ones are, like Iran, are hard to get to. But also, we've started to work our way down or earlier into the adoption potential for open source. And we're starting some programs such as the Linux Clubs one, which is mentioned here on the right, where we're helping set up after-school clubs for Linux and open source. We have a model that seems pretty compelling and already have some schools adopting it. So we'll be able to reach, I think, younger and younger people before they get too set in their ways on their choice of operating systems, and be able to help them earlier. The other notable thing that happened in the last year was we've finally released the Web Development Essentials. It's been in the works for a while. And just coming into beta in the next month or so is a Security Essentials. If you'd like to see the details of that one, you can find them on wiki.lpi.org. That's where all the drafts for new objectives and new certifications go first. And shortly after the Security Essentials ones, we'll be polishing off our work on an IoT or embedded Essentials certification as well. The other thing that's happening this year is we're also updating LPIC 2. So that's something you guys can watch over the next 6 to 8 months, I think. With the Web Development Essentials, I should note as well, this is the first time that we've launched learning materials along with the certification or the exam. So anybody that wants to and can't find any material or help fill in the blanks that they have in their expertise, there are some guided exercises and self-taught exercises along with some content in the learning materials. Which segues right into here. So these are the ones that we have prepared. We're trying to release learning materials with each certification update or new certification that launches. So you should see more of these showing up over the next few months. As well, we found a lot of people are interested in helping us translate these learning materials, especially for these introductory ones like the Essentials and first level of LPIC 1. A lot of people are finding it very helpful to find materials in their language that are concise and you get to the point. The other thing that we've done is made more of these exams available online. Right now it's with OnView. Unfortunately, Mac and Windows test drivers, we keep asking for more, and we're looking for alternatives. But right now, that is the current situation. We've also continued our work with partnering. So we have a number of partner types. The training partners and academic partners are our mainstay, but we have also started to work with organizations that can help introduce us to their communities, whether that's a channel partner for the more commercially interested organizations or a community partner for other nonprofits and FOSS organizations. They help us with our mission and we help them in return. It seems to be working out well. The 6 partnership types that you see on the left in this page here are the ones that are in process, are available now. The hiring partner one just is launching. It had a soft launch already, but we have a number of partners, organizations that are, discovered how practical it is to hire our certification holders. And they've been reaching out to us and encouraging us to set up this program. So you should hear more about that if you're looking for a job over the next coming month or two. The next partnership programs that we'll be launching are a solution provider and a mission supporter. Some of the programs that we have will take some help from interested third parties, and that's what the mission supporter one is going to help do. The other thing actually notable on this page is the approved trainers. We have 2 kinds of trainers that register with us. One is appropriately called a registered trainer. Part of the obligation that our training and academic partners have in partnering with us is making certain that their trainers are qualified to teach the material. And that includes being certified at the level that they're teaching. So a registered trainer is basically an obligation of our training partners to let us know who's doing that, so that, you know, over time we can get feedback on the trainers and let them know how they're doing, things like that. But then there's another type of trainer that we have, and this is a trainer that's you know, more free-floating, self-employed, and is of appeal to these partners who are constantly looking for trainers that they can hire to help with their courses. That's the approved trainer. This is a member program. You have to be a member to become an approved trainer. We did this so that we wouldn't have to charge a fee. It's just part of being a member. And not every member is a trainer, but for those that are, I think they're finding this to be a potentially valuable source of employment and recognition for what they're doing. As well, there's numerous volunteer programs we have, ranging from just speaking up about what's on your mind, members and community members, formal members and community members, I should say, are welcome to apply to this program. It could be a technical thing that they'd like to say, or opinion. We have some editors that will help them polish their voice. So if any of you are interested, just check out the page and contact us. And then there's also numerous other programs, from helping us maintain and develop new certifications and learning materials, to participating in committees, helping us translate, or even sometimes joining us at events in our booth. I think, oh, there is a stat there. We're at a different event almost every week, somewhere around the world. A lot of them virtual now, but if you see us at an event, definitely come and say hi. We also do some community development programs through partnerships, generally, helping them, you know, find employment for people that are having trouble financing their education, either entire groups of them or individually. And there is an entrepreneurship program that we're working on as well, for those that are more self-employment minded than going to get a job. Both excellent sources of life funding. This year we also updated our pricing. We switched from just the general UN Human Development Index to the, I forget what the I stands for, Inequality Adjusted Human Development Index. Hopefully this will help with the exam fees that unfortunately we have to charge in order to sustain the organization. Yeah, the pricing should be a little more approachable for people everywhere. Let us know how we do. We do have a few other diversity and inclusivity programs. Again, mostly this is done through partnerships. So when we find an organization that has a particular interest in women or other types of diversity, we try to partner with them and help them introduce open source to their groups. Just a little progress on how marketing and communications going on reaching out to people, both true believers in free and open source software and people that have never heard about it. And coming up near the end, guys, we also like to eat our own dog food. So where we can, we use open source tools. This list continues to grow, but this gives you a little bit of, oh, well, I'll take MindMap off that list. Although we love MindMap, it's not open source. But all of the other ones should be here. And as well, some of you may know Simo Bertulli. He was the member that was blogging last year about what he thought of our membership program and open source and his career in general. We are actually looking for another member if they would like to have a bit of a soapbox and talk about why they value open source or LPI and their certifications. We'd love to share your thoughts. And these next 2 pages are current members, current board members. Some names you may recognize, and including Vicky, who's on the ballot for this year, which I think the polls have closed. So hopefully everybody has voted. And a quick shout out to Torsten and Brian. Torsten is, I guess, our longest serving board member, maybe 20 years at this point. He's let his board membership lapse. He still continues to be a member of LPI, but you may not see him in the annual review next year. But thank you, Torsten and Brian, for all the help as a board member. It often goes unrecognized and unthanked, but it's an essential part of keeping our organization moving and well governed. So thanks again. We've added another year to our timeline if you'd like to see some notable events that have happened during LPI's history. And that's pretty much it. So again, thank you everybody that showed up today. I value my Saturdays as well. This is an important part of maintaining LPI. So it speaks a lot to your dedication and interest in what we're doing. So thank you everybody for showing up. I think that's it for this presentation.
Thank you very much, Matt. I will announce that the voting for the board candidates has ended, and Kenny is, as returning officer, is in the process of tabulating them, and we should have the results in a short time. The next thing on the agenda is the report of the treasurer, the LPI financial audit of 2021. Mark Phillips is the treasurer, but as I said, I believe he's in the process of flying to Australia, and so I will give the report for him. This is the financial audit. It's not really a report of the budget or anything like that. What happens is that during the year, the executive director gets together with his staff, formulates a budget for the organization, presents that to the board. The board looks at the budget, makes suggestions, and understands the budget, and then approves the budget. And then the executive director acts on that budget. The audit is a separate thing. The audit takes a look at the expenses and everything that the organization has had. It is done by an independent financial auditor, somebody outside of the organization completely. And they check to make sure that everything in the books balances, that things that are claimed as expenses are truly expenses, that we can, as a nonprofit, we meet all the requirements of the nonprofits in Canada. And he then finishes that audit, which is then approved by the board and finally submitted to the membership. So this is actually a presentation of the 2021 audit done from January the 1st of 2021 to December 31st. And that has been done by the auditor, approved by the board, and is now submitted to you for final approval. So it's not an approval of the budget per se, although we'd love to hear members give input as to what they think that the budget should be. New programs and things like that, but is really acceptance of the audit by the auditor. And this has been up in the reports section of the website for a very short time, unfortunately, but the board has looked at it. We have approved it. We think it is fine. And so now we need the resolution by the members. So a resolution to accept the LPI financial audit of 2021, resolution 2022-0625-03. Whereas Quart and Company, Chartered Professional Accountants, generated an audit approving of the accounting principles of the Linux Professional Institute, and whereas the Board of Directors has reviewed the report on this audit, be it resolved that the audit is now formally approved by the board and membership. And so again, we need to have somebody move this and second it. So Kenny has moved it. And Michael has seconded it. And if people would then use their poll to accept, reject, or abstain. Okay, we'll wait another 10 seconds after this for people to hit the polls. Oh, I'm having a oh, okay. Okay, I have a report that says that 12 accepted it and 1 abstained. Oh, 14 accepted. And so it is passed. The next resolution, we hope, is a simple one. Now that we have accepted the financial audit of 2021, we have to appoint the auditor for the next year, this year, 2022. And the board has suggested that we reappoint the firm of Quart and Company as auditors for the year of 2022. The reason being that we have used this auditor for 2 years now, and to use it for a third year means that the auditor knows how we work, knows how our books are kept, things like that. So it makes it easier for them. Rule of thumb says that you might keep an auditor for 2 to 3 years before you try a different auditor, just for good bookkeeping practices. So the resolution is to appoint the firm of Quart and Company as auditors of the year 2022, resolution 2022-0625-04. Whereas Quart and Company Chartered Professional Accountants have been approved to be the auditors for the Linux Professional Institute for the year 2022 by the Board of Directors, and whereas the board and the staff have been satisfied with the quality of the firm's work, be it resolved that the executive director is directed to engage Quart and Company to be the auditors of the Linux Professional Institute for the calendar year of 2022. And so, again, we need to have somebody move that. Okay. I think Kenny has moved that. And I see 2 people have seconded. I'm going to give it to Norbert. Actually, no, Michael, because he's first in line. And we'll wait for a few minutes for the poll to be taken. Okay, I'm going to halt the poll. There has been 10 acceptance and 1 abstain. The next thing on the agenda is a report of the results of the board elections. Kenny Armstrong, returning officer, will give the report. people are now on the board, run again, and she was elected. These 3 people now have a 3-year term. And each year when we have the election, we will elect. Then anybody could ask of board members. And I hope that maybe sometime in the future, when they've had a little rest, they might even come back or choose some other way of helping LPI. The last year, we had the AGM in June, and then we had an organizational meeting later on in June or the first part of July, I can't remember which. And during that organizational meeting, we did several things. We chose the board slots. We also set up the board meeting dates for the entire year, and we set the next AGM date. So in the month of July, we will be doing the same thing this year. The previous board schedule was started on July the 26th at 9:30 EDT. So at 13:30 Universal Time, the old board transitioned to the new one, and the new board members took over. And the same thing will be happening this year on July the 26th at 9:30 EDT. The old board members will officially give up their board positions, and the new board members will take over. So that's the transition. I will be putting out. I'll be contacting all of the board members to line up the best day to do all of this, and then we will have that meeting and we will publish the results of that. So that is the transition plan. And now we go on to section number 14, any additional business. Now, members were able to submit questions and things to the board for the AGM over the past months. And I'm going to ask the staff if there have been any submissions. There have been no submissions to this point. However, at the AGM, we have to allow people to submit issues or things like that. However, when you submit an issue, that means that we need to have time to consider it. So any type of submissions at this point would be deferred to a later meeting. On the other hand, you're always welcome to reach out to board members with issues and things like that, and we would treat them during the year, not just at the AGM. So I will go to the comments. I do not see any issues being presented, but we will keep an eye on that over the next couple minutes. So now we come to the last element of the agenda, which is some closing statement by myself. And I know you've all been listening to me probably much too long, and you're probably tired of my voice. I understand that. But I would like to take this time to say that in September of 2015, I became the board chair. As Matt said, there were 2 board members who are still on the board at this time that were board members at that time. And one of them was Torsten, and the other was Duffy Fran. And they've been board members all this time, as I've been on the board and chair all this time. And September of 2015, we're looking to have more members from the LPI community itself come onto the board. I am not a certified LPI member. I might try to get a certification a little bit later on, but it's a type of thing where this is a membership organization, and we would like to have the members become involved with it. So it's your organization. You need to step forward. I don't expect everybody will, of course, but it would be nice to have more members on the board, and you have a year to think about it and start to run. And perhaps next year we will have some of the actual membership on the board. So with that, I thank you very much. I want to thank Torsten and Brian for the service they have done. It's been great. and I look forward to working with the new board and the membership over the next year. With that, I will say, have a motion to adjourn the meeting. This is resolution 2022-0625-last. Be it resolved that the meeting of members is hereby adjourned. This only has to be moved. It doesn't have to be seconded. So do I have a movement that this happens? Okay, I'm going to say that Kenny moved that. Thank you very much for attending. I really appreciate it. The organization appreciates it. And we hope to see you at some LPI events over the next years.